So before I talk Moms for Liberty, I'm gonna be a mama bear, like she said. And I'm gonna keep my jacket on because we have very strict rules at Moms for Liberty. So right now I'm talking to you as Leslie Sawyer, the mama bear. I did not think I had the capacity in me to be involved in human trafficking. I wanted nothing to do with it. I didn't want to know. My focus was education. I can't do it, it's too dark, I won't sleep at night, I know who I am, I can't do it. One of my very good friends was working with Peace of Heaven, which is part of the Church of Glad Tidings out of Yuba City. And they bought a women's correctional facility and are turning it into the largest aftercare facility for children who have been trafficked. And so they were doing this event, Rev 17, which comes out of Revelation 17, destroying the whore of Babylon, her whole purpose was to seek to destroy the nation by taking down our kids and dividing the family. So at that event, I met Louis Herms. And at that event, I met others who are fighting actively to save our children. And I learned that not only do I have the capacity to fight human trafficking and in child sex trafficking, but I want everyone to wake up to just how ugly it is. And I want everyone to know that there are solutions. So if you go to peaceofheaven.life, you can learn more about that, and you can see all of the speakers from last time. But Louis is not just walking the walk, he's talking the talk, and he was there, not as a governor candidate, but as somebody who's been fighting this. So it's my honor and privilege to be friends with him. Now, on that note, I'm gonna take off my jacket and be Moms for Liberty. Because when you see me in my blue shirt, we are joyful warriors. So I'll have a smile on my face, but that does not make me any less aggressive when it comes to our kids. My job is the state legislative chair for California. And my job is to let you know where your parental rights are being violated by this state. We oversee the committees and the hearings that are happening. And next week, 2 weeks from now, we will be here sitting in on these hearings, testifying against some of these bills, and we are watching your lawmakers. So if you want to join us, you can get in contact with me. I have my cards. I will get you all the information you need. But as my shirt says, our founding fathers would be turning over in their graves. They said that, sorry, I forgot, liberty once lost is lost forever. But my other favorite shirt that is also a founding father is those who trade safety for freedom, or trade freedom for safety, deserve neither. Our founding fathers were very well aware. When you hand over your rights and liberties, you lose all freedom. The government is not here to protect you. The government was made to be a limited government. Now that doesn't mean small, because some branches of government are quite large, but it means limited, as in their jurisdiction is limited. My jurisdiction as Moms for Liberty is to track what affects your parental rights and empower you to have the knowledge to fight for your kids at all levels of government. That means helping you fight at your school boards. That means helping you fight at your county boards. And that means helping you fight here at the Capitol. So the other shirt, I love shirts with fun catchphrases. Moms for Liberty has one that says, such a time as this. And we all like it because it's got a pretty crown on it and it's sparkly. But the rest of that verse says that if you fail to act in such a time as this, your family will cease to exist. You will be gone forever, and those who took up the mantle and took up the challenge will be risen above. Okay, so that is not just a fun, pretty, sparkly shirt. That is a challenge that we have accepted when we walk into this space, that we will fight, and we will do so, not just for us, but for the generations to come. So if you want to learn more about Moms for Liberty, reach out to me. We will be here fighting in the swing space for you, and we will be partnering with candidates at all levels of government to fight for you and your children. The Trevor Space, which is connected to that website that they just gave access to every one of your kids with a smartphone, is a chat space that is open to anyone. There are no boundaries on this. So it is one of the #1 sites, along with Roblox and social media, where your children are targeted and they are trafficked. So you as parents need to be involved. You need to be watching what's going on in your phones. You need to be watching what's going on with your kids, but you need to be watching what your legislators push through. And you need to hold your elected officials accountable, because when they say, like President Trump said, no gender surgeries for minors under 18, and then somebody put, and I don't know if it's him, I can't confirm it, unless with express parental consent, you need to watch that none of that is happening. With expressed parental consent, do you know why AB 495 passed and why they want that? Because that gives an affidavit to another adult to have that expressed parental consent on your behalf without you even knowing it. That's why this legislation is so dangerous, and that is how they are trafficking your children. That being said, we need to put an end to it at all levels, and somebody who will be a watchdog in our legislation, in our legislature, is Ebie Lynch, who is my friend and a fighter, and she will fight for every one of us as Lieutenant Governor.
This rally, I was like, yes, let's do it. I'm all in. Why? Because I'm a mama. I'm a mama not only to my kids, but I'm a mama to our neighborhood kids. I'm a mama, period. And it means a lot to me to make sure that we have safety measures in place for our children. Why? Because it takes a village. I was a single mom forever until God finally said, Ebie, excuse me, no, you're not a single mom. You got me. And I was like, oh, yeah, you're right, God. Yes. So when people say, oh, are you married? I say, yes, I'm married to the Lord. He's my husband. He's got my kids. I'm good. Yeah? And that's true. That is my truth. And I want it to be the truth for everybody, where they can be able to say, you know what? Yeah, I'm good. But there are a lot of children out there who don't have that. They can't turn around and say, yeah, I'm good. Because they are in single parent or no parent households. I was 24 years in the military, and I have the honor of being able to serve our military homeless vets in different capacities. But not only the vets, but their families. And what I see is that when we have PTSD that's gone undiagnosed, they end up in the system. Not only them, but their families. Because it doesn't only affect them, it affects their children, their wives, husbands, spouses. It affects their community, the people who said, oh, okay, we'll see you when you get back from that deployment. We'll be right here for you. But what happens when they come back and they're not the same? The Joey or the Jane that went off to defend our country comes back not quite right. You can't put your finger on it, but there's something different about them. What happens when their little kids say, hey daddy, how are you? And all they get back is a look. Or, I'm good. Well, we don't know how to handle it when somebody is driving down the street and all of a sudden this mild-mannered John, who used to be everybody's best friend, says, shut the F up. I don't want to hear it anymore. And you look at them. What's their problem? They're having a bad day. No, not quite. They have PTSD. I'm telling you that there's quite a bit of our soldiers, our men and women in uniform, not only who go to war, but who defend our cities, our states, our country, who have undiagnosed PTSD. Why do I fight so hard for the police? Because we take it for granted that they're not affected by what they see every day. Think about it. If you're a cop and you have to go into a home where somebody has beat their child to death, we understand when somebody goes somewhere else, puts on green uniform, and they're going to war. Oh yeah, they're supposed to have PTSD. But how about our cops? who see things day in and day out and are expected to still be okay. People say, defund the police. How about support the police? How about giving them the backing that they need, because they don't understand what's going on inside of them. They don't know why it is when they go home at night and they go off on their husbands and wives and children. They want to be the support for their family. That's why they're working the job. They love their community enough to voluntarily go into a dangerous job. And yet, there's something going on. And the community turns on them. And now, instead of getting help, they're trying to figure out how to still support their families, do their job, and not be attacked by people while they're doing their jobs. I'm saying that we are one community. We need to stop fighting each other and start supporting each other. Because as long as we're fighting each other, the ones who want to harm us win. The ones who are stealing our children, they are our children that are being sex trafficked. You think it's just the children who are coming from other countries that are being sex trafficked? No, it's children here. That, hey, their parent has to work long days, so somebody comes, like Leslie said, introduces themselves as a friend on Roblox, as a friend on some of these chat areas. We have to do better, California. Stop fighting. I don't care if you're a Republican, Democrat, whatever. It doesn't matter, because we want the same thing. We want safer communities. We want to be one California so that we can work together and make sure that even if I'm home alone, I'm not alone, because my community surrounds me and will protect me. So that even if my child gets home before me and has to be at home by herself for hours, she doesn't feel like she has to go on some chat with somebody who says they're 16 but is really 63 and is coming for her. I want her to know that, hey, my neighbor next door isn't going to fight against my mom just because she's a Republican. My neighbor next door is not going to fight against my mom because she's a Democrat. My neighbor next door is just going to see me as one of the children in his or her community. Let's stop putting division in front and start putting community in front. Because that's what we need right now. We need to be able to talk to each other. We need to be able to know when we go to our neighbor and knock on the door and say, hey, I need help. They're not going to say, oh, there's that Republican, there's that Democrat, there's that whatever. We have to open the doors and say, oh, my neighbor's here. How can I help? I'm going to tell you how you can help. Take the time to get to know who you're voting in, because not everybody who looks like you is for you. As I talk to people, they say, well, you're black. Aren't you gonna, vote for this person who's black? I say, why? Why? You're blonde. Are you going to go and vote for somebody just because they're blonde? You look at me like I'm crazy, right? Yeah. No, I'm gonna vote for the best candidate. As you see, the candidates here, we're not fighting each other. We're working together. We have solutions. Some of them are similar and some of them aren't. But we're working towards solutions. And that's exactly what we need to continue to do. So if you're a Republican, go talk to a Democrat. If you're a Democrat, go talk to a Republican. If you're an independent, talk to everybody, because it's time for us to get the labels and throw them away. Let's vote for the person who's going to do right by us. My name is Ebie Lynch. Thank you so much for coming today, and thank you for giving me the honor of your time.